Hi everybody, welcome to School of Scarlett. Today I have another message for you. So today's message is about how our reality is like an escape room. So I recently reposted a little quote or meme or something I found on Facebook, and it says me saying this feels like an escape room, or this is a really hard escape room, and then the boss saying this is your work. So in life, we're going to be in a lot of situations that truly feel like an escape room, and our whole reality can become like this feeling of being in an escape room. And I'm going to tell you in this video that your freedom is at risk, but I'm also going to give you the tools and the tips of how to get out of the escape room. So stay tuned to the very end. So today's message was really inspired by my cat. So my cat, Sasha, if you've never seen her before, I invite you to go look at my shorts videos. I have maybe a couple of her in there. Maybe there's more. My cat, Sasha, is a pretty big cat. We rescued her from an animal shelter. They were actually going to euthanize her because she was so cranky. She would like hiss and growl, and they wouldn't even let us touch the cat when we went in to go see her. They said, if you touch that cat and she scratches at you, even if you want to take her home, we have to euthanize her. But we decided just to take her home without knowing if she was going to scratch us or none of that. We were really willing to take her home now. So we took her home, and she's a very big cat. So if you see her videos, she's actually lost 10 pounds. When we got her, she was like 30 pounds. Now she's like 20 pounds. So, but she's still a very big cat. Anyhow, this morning, like most mornings, she got up, she was meowing, she wanted to get out of the bedroom. I sleep with my door closed. So I let her out, and she went and got her food and, you know, did her business. And I was still sleeping in, and I wanted to sleep in a little bit more. Today's Sunday, so happy Sunday to y'all. And so she wanted to come back in, and I heard her meowing and stuff, but she didn't really meow that much. All of a sudden, boom, I hear this loud noise, and she knocks the door open, and my door was completely closed. So she used all of her strength and her might to just knock this door open and get right in. So this really brought through the message that there's going to be basically doors that you're going to have to go through. And in an escape room, you have to find your way out, right? So you're going to have different doors, different barriers, different obstacles in life to get to your freedom, to get out of that escape room. And so in this case, Sasha was coming into the bedroom, but it doesn't matter if you're coming in or you're coming out. There's going to be doors. So we're going to be talking about that here today. So our freedom really can feel like it is being taken away from us in different scenarios. So for one, you know, I can remember when I got my first job, it was actually a very good job. It paid very well. And it, you know, it had benefits, everything that you would want for your first job. I was working for a hospital doing safety inspections. But when I started working there, I was excited about, you know, everything like that, the pay, the benefits, and everything like that. But as I began to work there, I began to feel my soul was just like being taken out of me. I worked in a little tiny gray cubicle, and everybody there did. It didn't matter really what your position was. Most people worked in these gray cubicles. There was no lighting except for fluorescent lighting above. And I would get out to do inspections about once a week. So I got to get out of the office once a week, but the majority of the time I was in this office. I was creating different kind of things, checklists, and just different things for my job. But it was so soul draining to be in there, to be without sunlight, to be without walking, without really, you know, we could talk to our coworkers during like, you know, the morning and lunchtime and stuff like that. But it wasn't what I think I needed. And so I began to feel like my soul was draining, like it was leaving me. And I would often take walks around the campus. I would do different things around there just to kind of get my grounding back. But it became so unbearable that I could not work there. It didn't matter how much I got paid, what the benefits were, anything. I just could not do it. And so I had to leave that job, and I had to find my way out. So oftentimes we get ourselves into these jobs. They seem like really nice, really good, or we think that this is what we want at the time. And then later we find out that it's not anywhere aligned to what we wanted. So now we're somehow trapped in something. And this isn't the first time that I've been in a situation like this. We find ourselves going continuously into these kind of situations. They seem to improve in some ways, but in a lot of ways, there's still a lot of freedom that is being taken. So, the majority of time we spend at work, right? So 9 to 5, and then, you know, whatever your commute is, you know, an hour each way where I live. It's a long time to be at work. And by the time you get home, you know, you make yourself dinner, and let's say you have a child, you give your child a bath, and then it's bedtime and books and bedtime. That's the end of your day. You don't have a lot of time for yourself. So your freedom has been totally taken away and put into this job. Now, if you love your job, if it is what you always wanted for yourself, then that's great. This is just an example for you of something that can happen, and one that I hear quite often. Other examples are like, you know, relationships. Sometimes people get themselves in a relationship or a marriage or something, and they feel like they can't get themselves out, you know, or maybe it's cultural norms. Maybe it's religious norms. Maybe they're married, but they don't believe in divorce, or they don't believe in whatever it happens to be. And so they're now trapped in this. So it could be, you know, getting trapped in, like I say, your religious beliefs, or maybe the religious beliefs of your family. Maybe they're beliefs that you grew up with and you've now kind of had to abide by them, but you don't truly believe them, but yet you're still trapped in this kind of paradigm with this family. So it could be that. It could be your culture. I get that a lot, you know, working with people from other countries where their culture is, you know, a certain way, but their beliefs, their thinking is not that way. So how will they break out of something so large as your culture, right? So, but there are these ways to break out of it, and there are ways to do it, but it's not going to be easy. And most people don't want to talk about this. So if this is triggering you, that's okay. You can get off of this channel if it is. But here I'm going to give you the tools to get out of this escape room. So these things happen in our lives. You know, we kind of get involved in situations where we feel trapped eventually, and it feels very hard to get out. Let's say the job, let's say a marriage or whatever. It feels very, very hard to get out, okay? But it's going to be something that you're going to have to push yourself out of. And you're usually going to have to go and meet that part of you that you're so scared. So whatever you're so scared of having or experiencing, you're going to have to experience it, okay? So let's say that, you know, you want to be yourself. Maybe there's something about you. You know, we hear a lot about people, you know, with gender identity, or, you know, maybe they don't believe in a certain culture norm or something like that. And so they're going against something with their family. Well, maybe the one thing that they truly always wanted was to be accepted by their family, to be loved by their family. And throughout this whole time in their life, they've been seeking the attention and approval of their family. But now they have to battle within that, okay, there are things that, you know, as a person, as an authentic self, they want for themselves. Maybe they want a certain different kind of lifestyle or something like that. But in choosing that, it seems as if you're going to lose the acceptance, the love of your family. And in some cases, in some religions, you might even be shunned or just be cut off from that family. So how will you do it, right? It is kind of a scary feat. Same thing with the job. If you have gotten into that job because you wanted the income, you wanted the benefits, you wanted that sense of security, but now suddenly you find yourself in a place where you feel so unhappy, but you're going to have to give up or somehow feel in a way that you're losing that sense of security that you actually went in there for. So you're going to have to face the thing that you fear the most, not having security, not having acceptance from the family, whatever it happens to be. And so we're going to have to walk through that door, and not just walk through it. You're going to have to push through it, just like Sasha, my cat, did. You're going to have to really push through this thing. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be kind of an emotional thing for you. But on the other side of fear is where you're going to find everything that you ever dreamed of. And you've heard that quote, and we've heard it in different ways, said different ways, because it is one of the ultimate truths of reality. So it can really feel like we're in an escape room. So what can we do? How do we break through that door? And, you know, how do we do it well? Well, actually, you don't have to actually think about it too much. You have to listen to your heart. You have to listen to your intuition. So the first thing that you will have to do when you want to break out of this escape room, when you want to break out of that job, that marriage, that relationship, that culture norm, your family's programming, your own programming that you adopted that wasn't yours, you're going to have to start to listen to your intuition. So in your heart, you have a guiding system, and it often gives you nudges. If you're very in tune with your heart, you might even hear it. You might even get actual messages. But when you are, haven't been listening to your heart for a while, it might just be like a nudge. And it feels like, you don't want to go to work. You want to quit. You're ready to, type in your resignation, or you're ready to tell your family the truth about who you are. And you get this feeling like, now it's time, now it's time, now it's time. That's the nudge. That's the nudge telling you that you need to follow your intuition. But we oftentimes use our brains and talk ourselves out of the intuition in our heart. And we tell ourselves, oh, it's not time. I need to save up more money. Oh, it's not time. I really need those benefits. So you tell your heart, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You may not feel well now, but you can push through this. You can do it for the benefits. Or if it's your family, you don't want to hurt them. You can handle this. You can, live your life secretly and keep them happy. So your brain will come up with all kinds of ideas, schemes, manipulations to kind of keep your heart at bay again. But the heart won't stop. It's going to keep speaking louder and louder and louder. And if you don't listen to it, it can really turn into, health issues, pain, just different things that arise within the body because we aren't listening to an energy that's wanting to be moved. So we have to listen to our heart. So the first step of breaking free from any escape room that you find yourself in life is to listen to your intuition. The second step is to come out of your comfort zone. Your intuition is going to take you places that you may never have thought of. It may all of a sudden ask you to do something that you're very uncomfortable with. So you may feel like, yes, I need to leave that job, and you leave that job. And then suddenly the next thing that your heart wants to do is public speaking. And maybe you're very shy, you're an introvert, or you're not used to that. And all of a sudden, that's the next thing that seems to be coming up in your reality, that some opportunity comes up or something within you starts telling you to do this. And that's your heart really leading you on your actual authentic path, but you don't realize it in the moment. So you have to kind of keep an open mind and have a bit of this coming out of your comfort zone. For me, I left a job that was just not in alignment to me anymore. And after that, I was led to do different things that were very uncomfortable for me. I started to speak on YouTube, speak in person at presentations. I put out a book, and the book was not something that you would generally think is universally accepted. It's not a topic or subject matter that, most people would jump up and down about. So if you are interested in my book, I believe it's in my links in my bio of my page, of my YouTube page. But anyhow, I was always an introvert. I was always like the shy person. I was the one that, when the teacher asked a question, I never raised my hand. I was the last one to speak or whatever it happened to be. So for me now to be led to speak to people in my community, at schools, and then start my own YouTube channel and speak there, when I really didn't have those skills or abilities, or even I had fear behind it, really. And like I say, you have to push past that fear. You really have to push past it hard. And so I started off by going ahead and taking these opportunities. And I was scared to death when I got in front of a large group and had to speak. But as I began speaking and I noticed that people were paying attention and they were there, my confidence began to build. My trust in myself began to build. And sometimes I'd go to events and things and no one would be there. And it would kind of feel, uncomfortable, but I had to still go to the next event because my heart was telling me this was where I needed to be. When I started my YouTube channel, I didn't have you don't have viewers when you start YouTube. So I had maybe 0 subscribers, and then, a week would pass and I would have 2 subscribers, a month would pass, I would have 5 subscribers. It was a very slow thing. And I didn't let that stop me. You have to kind of be able to be uncomfortable in what your heart is telling you to do, and just follow it through, because the end result is something that you will never imagine. It's something very special that your heart is leading you to. So even if you feel uncomfortable, if in your past you've been someone that's looked at numbers, that you've, judged yourself in some way, don't judge yourself. Just kindly listen to your intuition, your heart, and go one step at a time, knowing that you're listening to your intuition and you are getting out of your comfort zone, which is going to get you out of this escape room. These are the steps. There are no other steps but these. because we're aligning to who we authentically are. And if we just choose to listen to the world and we just get advice from this person or that person, we're going to end ourselves back up in another escape room. They're just going to look different. They're going to look like different escape rooms, but essentially you're going to be in another escape room. Whereas if you follow your intuition and get out of your comfort zone and take the next step, you're going to end up somewhere that's very authentic, very special, very aligned to who you are and what your internal and innate gifts are. And you don't know what those gifts are sometimes. We've been so lost because we've been following the guidebooks of others. We've been following the programming of others, that we don't truly know ourselves till we start listening to our heart. So the third thing that you're going to have to do to get out of this escape room is to be able to ground yourself. So because it's going to be you following your intuition, you coming out of your comfort zone, you're going to feel a little bit ungrounded, meaning your anxiety could go up. You could start to experience sleepless nights. You could start to feel like uncomfortable in situations. You might feel maybe even less than in some situations where people have seen that you've left your job and now you're just, you know, doing whatever it is that you're doing, and you don't have like all the money you had, or you don't have the status you have, or you've left your family and now you seem like you've been shunned, or like you have some problem. It's going to feel a little uncomfortable here in this world. So you're going to have to be able to ground yourself. Ground yourself in things that are meaningful to you. For me, it's things like nature. Nature is a very unconditional space. You can just go outside, observe, and it kind of nourishes you and it brings you into this unconditional state. So going into nature, maybe there's things that you enjoy doing that have been lifelong hobbies of yours, like painting, dancing, maybe you like playing some kind of games, or, you know, creating things. Find things that will ground you, your pets, you know, find foods and things that you enjoy doing, cooking yourself nutritious foods that will nourish your body and keep you healthy and doing well. Do things like exercise, get your energy out, you know, because even if it is uncomfortable energy, or even happy energy, or whatever you want to call it, whatever kind of energy you're experiencing, even anxious energy, exercise is a great way to ground yourself and release that energy in a healthy way. And then you can sleep well at night and you can continue on for the next day. So you have to be balanced. You have to find a balance in your grounding, because in order for you to carry out the gift of who you are, your authenticity is a gift. If you don't know this already, who you are authentically is the greatest gift that you could give this world. But it will be a little bit of a fight here. You will have to break down some doors like Sasha did, and you will have to get uncomfortable, and things will have to change in your reality for you to escape that escape room. So you have to keep a sort of balance in your life so that you can walk through those fires and get through them with ease. And it's not going to be as easy as you think. So don't think that everything that I'm talking about is the easiest thing. You can find yourself a community like School of Scarlett or anything else that's out there that you align with, and talk to like-minded people, people that are following their heart, people that are following their intuition. And you can talk to others, and you can really talk about these times that sometimes it feels uncomfortable. And you can get that support from them as well, while still keeping your authenticity and moving through. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is have fun and realize that there is actually no rules here on this reality. You thought that there was rules, you know, people told you you had to, you know, go to college and get a degree, and then you had to find a job, and you had to work 9 to 5, and you had to get married and have 2.5 children and get yourself a house with a mortgage, a 30-year mortgage, and pay that mortgage for 30 years. And not really get involved too much in your hobbies other than maybe 1 or 2, and, you know, lead this life that is very sheep-like, this kind of mentality that most of the world is living right now. But you know deep down in your heart that that was never meant for you. So you're going to have to realize and throw out that rule book. That is not true. That is not your truth. Because why? Because your heart is telling you different. You know that your heart has always been telling you that life is not meant for you. And every time you try to live it, it doesn't feel right to you. It's not comfortable. It's not the right thing for you. You carry it out and it never gets better. It always gets worse. So that's not who you are. So it's time to throw out that rule book and get it out of there. There are no rules here in life. You can choose your own reality. You can choose your own ways. And if you're doing things from your heart, from your authentic nature, it's going to grow. It's going to flourish in ways that are so much bigger and so much more beautiful and more aligned to who you are than if you had followed some generic rule book that really is not aligned to you, and you know that deep down inside. So we have to kind of throw out those rules when people say, oh, you're doing it wrong, it needs to be done this way. Consult your heart. When people tell you, you know, when you're writing a book, or, you know, you're putting out YouTube videos, or, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, that it has to be done this way. You are the rule breaker. You are the overcomer, and there is nothing that anyone else can say to you that's going to be the truth other than what's within your heart. So you can listen to everybody else, you can listen to the world, but in the end, you have to discern it with your own sacred heart. What is the truth for you? Because what's the truth for you is what you got to go with. If you go with the outside world, you're again stuck in another escape room. So the other part about it is to have fun. So throw out that rule book, and the other part is to have fun. And that's kind of the hard part about it. How do we have fun in all this? Well, the way that we have fun is being authentic to ourselves. So that weird, goofy person that you truly are, that you've been kind of hiding from the world, or those things that you enjoy doing that maybe other people don't really enjoy that much, or put you down about, or, you know, you got teased for this or that, but it's truly something that you love to do. Let it out. Be yourself. Have fun. It doesn't matter if you shock the world. It doesn't matter if people don't like you. It doesn't matter if people bully you again. Be yourself. And when you're being yourself authentically and who you are just naturally, the world will eventually see that eventually, and you will be fine. We think that we're going to lose all our friends, all our family, and that might be the case for a short time, but continue on. Stay strong in who you are, and those people and those situations that are meant for you, that are aligned for you, that have your highest interest at, you know, at best, they will be the ones that will stay. And anybody that truly is a true bully, you know, narcissist, whatever you want to call them, those kind of people will leave because they won't be able to stand in your light. They won't be able to stand it when you are being yourself. They're going to have to leave. They can't take that energy. But everybody that's meant for you, they will stay. And even if they leave for a little bit, when they realize what you're doing and that you're doing this in a good way for yourself, you're authentically aligned, they're going to come back and support you. So that is just the journey here on life. It's really feeling like it's an escape room. It really feels like we have to come across so many different boundaries, barriers, obstacles in our life. And yes, they do come up, and there are so many different scenarios we can talk about, not just work or marriage or any of these things. There's many other things that happen. And so this message is really just to bring you these points to empower you today to go and get your freedom back, because your freedom is here and now. It's not anywhere else. It's at here and now. And the only way to do that is to start listening to yourself. So if this message found you well, if it resonated with you, give me a heart, a like, or comment down below how it resonated with you. If you're new here, thank you so much for being here today. I hope that you'll subscribe. I hope that you'll come back. And for all my returning viewers, I will catch you on the next message, and I love you all.